Blessings in love, one world family. What's up? Jesse Tree here. You're actually in my nettle patch right now. I'm here harvesting a little bit of nettles for my family. Kind of storing up for winter. Get some wild edibles. As you know, I've been on the liquidarian path, the breatharian path, for 4 years now. Almost in February, it'll be 4 years since my breatharian initiation, my self-initiation of 4-day dry fast. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk to you about today, is just, breatharianism. This has really been my heart for the last 4 years. And in the last year, with all the COVID and everything going on, I've been very focused and centered on bioremediating the planet, bioremediating the world, healing human beings and healing soil and plants. And it just felt like the woo way. Felt like the right natural thing for me. And now it's coming back around again, because I've been able to hold my practice, still meditating every day, still qigong every day, still sun gazing every day, still dry fasting 14 to 16 hours every day, still juicing every day, been still nibbling occasionally, but less and less, and those nibbles are always just a taste of the dinner I made for the family, or a little bit of seaweed snacks, or like a handful of potato chips. But that's been ebbing, so I'm pleased with that progress. But I just haven't been immersed in it, Been really focused on how to heal my community and heal the world. And I realize also that that's a bit presumptuous. The world is fine. The world will heal itself. It's not my job. My job is to heal my world. And that's what I always offer and want to share, is this idea of, physician, heal thyself. And the wisdom of the Buddha, if we could make one person in this world happy, and that was ourselves, we would have world peace. Everyone just did that. Didn't worry about everybody else or how events were going to unfold, because those are things completely out of our control. We'd just be at more peace, just at more rest. So it's good for this patch. Have this creepy firelight going on. Been having fires locally. And that's something that comes to mind too, with respect to breatharianism, and I think part of my inspiration, motivation, impetus, or reaction, still trying to tease out and discern what has been catalyzed by events exterior and what has been catalyzed by interior events. You gotta remember that the interior world is where the gold is. It's where everything's really going on. Out here in the exterior, we can get confused. In nature, I think it's quite clear. Look at this. It's nothing but synergy. It's nothing but self-organized beings in consonance and relationship and harmonious existence and equilibrium. So to me, that's the reflection that is the model for the inner world, the beauty, the organization, the symbiosis, the wholeness, that coming from a genuine place. That's always been sort of my point of pride, is just keeping it really real, And that's what I'm kind of trying to just express right now, is like, I love this permaculture life. This is part of my pranic existence. tending and creating, or planting these seeds, planting these trees, tending these bees, growing this food and giving it to people. But ultimately it's about transformation of consciousness, the times we're in. And ultimately that's what the Breatharian path is about. It's about dissolving the boundaries in our minds of what we can and cannot do. I know you can live on pure prana. My teacher, Tom, hung out with me for 10 days and didn't eat a bite or drink anything and hiked all around and taught. And I have now been living on liquids alone for 4 years, dry fasting with most of my day, 16 and sometimes 20 hours. Definitely lately, a bit of 14s have been going on. Just wanting to relax that a bit. And that's a key part of this that I want to bring in. Someone was talking with me the other day who had went to Breatharian, initiation, transformation retreat. And this is kind of the idea. It's funny, like you think like maybe a professional basketball player, right? He's probably, or she has spent her whole youth training, from the time they were young kids or teens until, college, been training as adults daily, working it, for years and years and years and years and years. And then there's people who will maybe go do a basketball camp for a couple weeks. Now, which one has greater mastery? And it's clear, right? It doesn't even need to be thought over that long. It's quite clear that the guy who spends all that time can have way more mastery. Same with gardening. I've had people tell me oh, I'm a master gardener. They did a couple weekends class of a master gardener class. I have been gardening for 25 years. I still know I am not a master. I have so much to learn, So, same with breatharianism. I'm a baby breatharian. So you want to give yourself time. There's this idea of getting to that end result on the quick. Nothing good comes quick. Give yourself time. Be gentle. The gentle healing is always the deepest. And we have to go on the sine wave and the ebb and flow. We have to be honoring of our bodies and emotions as we go into this. And I definitely want to detail how we're going to do this, how to practice, have a breatharian practice at any stage of life that is just going to enable and help your consciousness and your health and move you towards that pranic way of living. So, on the quick, because it's a detailed thing, but since I brought it up, it's essentially comes through various practices. One is dietary practice, eating well, and that's whole foods. Now, I'm definitely an advocate of healing diets. I am definitely an advocate of vegan, plant-based diets. However, there are times when people have had such trouble with nutrient absorption, they've had such trouble with assimilation, and they've had the idea imprinted in their mind of veganism is an ethical veganism, because I'm all about the ethics of veganism and ahimsa, tending life and being caring toward life and not wanting to harm life. However, if you're not caring to yourself and healing to yourself, you're not healing and caring to all life. And so there's people I've known who've gone down that road of veganism and breatharianism, fasting and stuff, and made themselves sickly, emaciating themselves because they're not building their energetic body. That's another piece of this. By too much fasting, cleansing, what have you, and just taking that route, you also have to do things like exercise, meditate, sun gaze, ground, energy building, qigong, yoga, rest, massage, uh, adjustments, etc. Reiki. So there's that. But there may be occasion where meat is a medicine for rebuilding the body. If you need to build flesh, flesh builds flesh. However, and so I have friends in the healing world who have had great success healing their bodies with flesh foods. However, I know, the shape of our teeth, the shape of our guts, we're predominantly plant eaters, and more than that, we also, if you want to attain this state of breatharianism, you're going to have to go by the way of plants. It's a matter of the plugging up that happens with acidic mucus forming foods that are inflammatory, and that even goes for vegan foods like soy and nuts and Impossible Burgers and rice and potatoes and all kinds of stuff will plug up your guts. So this is kind of becoming more aware of how to, through fasting, juicing, in particular, liquid diets, open up the diaphragm and the root channel by clearing out the eliminatory channel of mucoid plaquing and etc. So there's cleaning up the eliminatory channels for greater assimilation and opening up the diaphragm for using your dantian to gather energy. There's gathering energy by modes that I described, qigong, meditation, etc. There's brahmacharya practice, which is not squandering your sexual energy and your sexual fluid. That is the best of your genetic material, and if you can recirculate it in your body, it gets better and better, and you become more potent in body and mind. Another practice is the fasting practice. So you do want to practice fasting. You want to learn to attune your body to less. It's something that we're totally capable of. It's totally part of our genetic past, feasting and fasting. And it's totally something alluded to in Ayurveda and masters all over the world, and also people that they are alive today that have underwent scientific rigorous study and so forth. You can live on energy alone. And I'm moving there, and I think this is actually going to become the highest form of permaculture that we're going to have available. Always said that we can do more permaculture by doing less. If we can work on the angle of consciousness, healing our consciousness, and healing our own body as part of healing our consciousness, then we are the greatest untapped resource. Then we can have the clarity of vision and imagination and focus to be able to create a new world. Now, if we're running around reacting to triggers, to, events, because, events aren't always what they seem, and our perceptions aren't always clear on what events are taking place and what they mean. But if we can stay in this calm, cool mind, it's the other piece of Breatharianism to me is what my heart teacher Milarepa says is getting to the pith instructions and centering in your heart channel, centering your consciousness in your heart channel in your center, in the center of the storm where the emotions are all swirling around. You can stay in your stillness and you can stay centered. But it is a practice. It is something, the neurons that fire together wire together. So by using these things as well as like energy management, watching your relationships, watching your energy so that you don't blow yourself, overextending yourself physically, emotionally, or otherwise in cases where it's unnecessary. And that also comes through discernment. So a foundational practice of breatharianism is, as you would think, breath work, breathing, meditation. You're not going to make it by fasting your way there. Fasting is one of the practices of these many. So we have energy cultivation, we have dietary practice, we have fasting practice, we have brahmacharya, awareness of your sexual fluids. And beyond that, it is really the development of your consciousness in a holistic manner, where you see everything as your reflection, and you try to extend love in every moment, not because you're obliged to, out of some moral falseness, but because that is you. That's why the Rastas say I and I, man, because it is I and I. There's only one of us here. So, with that, I'm going to wrap that up. I extend my love and blessings to you today, my friends. Look into Breatharianism. Check it out. Hit me up if you're interested. I have to put my head and my heart into this some more now. I've been working on the dietary and permaculture angle for my community, but I think I want to hold a retreat or maybe gather some of my Breatharian community together. I'm strongly feeling this at the moment, so and you out there, if you're reading this, hearing this, hit me up, please. I'd love to connect. All right. Much love and blessings, one and all. We're all breatharians, by the way. You need breath more than you need anything. All right. Plant trees, by the way. Much love.